Hello, my friends, and welcome to Life Expansion. I'm Jason Stephenson, and thank you very much for joining us today, or this morning, or this evening, or wherever you are in the world. I know it's morning time here, and I just better shut that one off. I have with me today a wonderful, beautiful guest, Allie O'Shea. Allie O'Shea hails from Ireland, is a law of attraction practitioner, is a Reiki master and healer. Is that correct there, Allie?
Reiki practitioner.
Reiki
Yeah.
practitioner.
A natural energy healer.
And a natural energy healer, and has also been published by Rumi Quotes. And so I'm delighted to welcome Allie and say thank you so much for being on Life Expansion, and welcome, Allie.
Thank you so much for having me, Jason. It's an honor to be here. So lovely to be here with you and your viewers.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'd just like to say a shout out to all of the people that are watching live at the moment. I might have to get the chat up here. So if you just give me a moment, just so I'm not ignoring people. Won't be
absolutely.
We'll get this up. There's a few people there. Paul O'Shea happens to be there.
No way.
Paul. And Psychic Channel, lovely to see you. Okay, we just get this sorted and then we can move on. Okay. So, Allie, Allie, I was reflecting before this interview, and we have a few things in common. Well, number one is that we both worked in healing crystals. I know that you and your husband Paul had the shop, and I was a crystal wholesaler, and we've both worked on Ho'oponopono, and also we've just finished the Consciousness Creators Program. So there you go.
Yeah, we had lots of stuff in common. I mean, it was amazing to me when I met you first. We were obviously introduced by Luke Bryan Smith, who put both of us in some of his songs.
Yes.
And he asked me to get in touch with you, and I did. And I'd been recommending you on my workshops here in Ireland. And when we got to discussing it, it was kind of crazy, the amount of things that we really, truly had in common, such as the crystals and, starting out in markets with things. Wow.
That's how I started too, in the markets. But I'd like to congratulate you, Allie, first of all, for putting all that work. I know how much work that took with that Consciousness Creators Program, like to get the 7 guests doing videos every day for the full month. So I'd like to congratulate you because that was a success. It was so good to be a part of that. So yeah, well done.
Thank you so much. I mean, everybody that took part, including yourself, were what made it. And the people that watched also, I mean, we have to thank the viewers, because without them, obviously it wouldn't have been such a success. Within, 6 weeks, we had 1,700 people in that group, which was phenomenal for a group.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Everyone that was involved were friends of mine, very close friends of mine that I had built up relationships with, and knew that they would be perfect to do the live shows, to bring to the people, to raise the vibration of the planet.
Well, it was beautiful, beautiful team of people. That's for sure.
Being a part of it.
And I'd like to just quickly say just a few shout outs here at the moment, and say hello to Anne, Gret, and Lisbeth, and Colleen, and Livy, and Michelle. There's people now joining on. So, and of course, Tanya, hello. Welcome, guys. And to all the people also that are joining later for the replay, welcome too as well. And interestingly enough, I've got to say something here. I've got these Wayne Dyer quotes, and I tear off one and look at one each day. And so many times this seems to be in alignment with the interviews that I do. And today is no exception at all. So
that's the law of attraction, Jason.
It is the law of attraction in full play. I'm going to read this out. When you hoard the abundance that arrives in your life, the flow is disrupted. You must keep it circulating, always knowing that nothing can stop it from coming into your life except any resistance that you place in its way. And how powerful is that for today? So thank you. Rest in peace, Wayne Dyer. Amazing.
Wayne Dyer, yeah. Amazing man. Yeah, it's so poignant, and it actually depicts everything that I would talk about on my law of attraction workshops, on my wealth coaching mastery program, which is coming up on the 2nd of March. And it's, abundance is it's a lot of everything. It's not just to do with money. It's to do with having a lot of friends. It's having to do with a lot of love in your life. It's having to do with a lot of things. It's the leaves on the trees. It's how many blades of grass there are. It's how many raindrops there are that come out of the sky. And so abundance doesn't always have to be to do with money, but you know, when you hold on to money, it's pointless. If we all kept our money in our pockets, because money is generally, everything is energy. So if you have money in your pockets, what use would it be to anybody? If everybody just sat there and said, oh, I've got all this money and it's not going anywhere. That's basically what that statement is talking about. It's talking about hoarding it and keeping it to yourself. We need to share everything. And the more that we share everything, the better. But also hoarding in another format, as I was just saying to you earlier on, isn't good either, because when you start to declutter your life of all the things that, you know, material possessions, even emails and texts and things that are no longer serving you, well, then you open up a thing called the law of vacuum. And the law of vacuum is basically the universe's way of saying that it doesn't like too much empty space. And so it will endeavor to bring other things into your life that you wish to manifest, including money, health, relationships, all kinds of things.
Wow. There you go.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah. So this, the abundance, and of course the opposite of abundance is lack. And, you know, I mean, I don't know about you, but I grew up in a family that, and I'm not criticizing my family. I love my parents and I'm very grateful for all the love I had.
Sure.
But I grew up with the mindset and the mentality that you must hold on tight to your money. You must not, you must not virtually even be careful who you share it with. You know, be careful who you give it to. And interestingly enough, so I grew up with that mindset. So I grew up actually with lack of money.
Of course, that's the way the law works.
Yeah, very.
No, it's the total opposite. The opposite is that the more that you give, the more that you receive. That's actually a law as well. And, you know, the lack mindset, what you grew up with then was a limiting self-belief. And you know, as well as I do, it takes 21 to 30 days to reprogram your subconscious mind, because, you know, 95% of your brains has been run by your subconscious. So it takes quite a long time to reprogram. So I'm going to be talking about all that on my Wealth Coaching Mastery program, which is coming up.
Oh, good. We're going to be talking about that too, actually. We'll bring that up. Allie, when did you first recognize that there was such thing as law of attraction, or when did this come into play for you?
I first heard about it, like a lot of people, when The Secret came out. The Secret, I think it was The Secret movie. I think it came out before the book. I can't really remember which. I mean, I was always aware that I liked crystals and energy and things to do with that kind of nature. I was always a bit, you know, I was brought up being a Protestant, being taken to church every Sunday, which, you know, in my teenage years, I rebelled against, as most teenagers do. And I, you know, was into really understanding people who were mediums and psychics. And I absolutely loved that end of things. However, my parents are very old school and told me that that was evil and that was demon worshipping and all kinds of stuff. And you know what? I think even still to this day, they believe that because they're so set in their ways and they don't really even understand, I don't think, what I do. But, you know, it's a limiting belief. It's again, that's a limiting belief that mediumship is demon worshipping and all of that kind of thing, because it's not, you know, what, as you know, one of my best friends is Vivian Carden, who helps to heal people whose loved ones have passed over by helping them to make that connection with them.
Yeah, I guess it's this thing about, you know, you want to believe it, and that becomes your reality. Yes,
exactly.
You know, so yeah. Allie, there's something I've heard, and I've heard this a few times now, and I struggle with understanding it, and maybe you can shed some light on this. That I've heard that they say it takes 68 seconds to manifest something. And I'm like, okay, how does that work? Because I know that, I've got plans and I've had goals, and I'm a strong believer in the law of attraction, but I'm just not sure what the go is there. What is that about that? Can you shed some
Sure, I
light
can
on that?
explain that.
Yeah.
Sure. So Abraham Hicks, who obviously is channeled through Esther Hicks, for those people who don't know, your viewers, Jerry and Esther Hicks. Jerry now has passed over to Pure Positive Energy, but Esther channels Abraham, which is a collective consciousness. And they were never here on this earth. They're a collective consciousness, and they're named Abraham, and they channel through Esther.
Mm.
And basically what they say is that if you, for 17 seconds, give pure focused thought to a particular subject with emotion behind it, what happens is, through the law of attraction, another thought like that will join that thought, because that is momentum taking place. Okay, so when you're thinking a thought for 17 seconds and you're giving it pure positive energy and emotion behind that thought for a solid 17 seconds, it's actually moved to 16, because the energy is moving faster on the planet. And the 68 seconds has therefore dropped to 67 seconds.
Wow.
But we'll keep that 17 to 68 because most people relate to that and they've heard it. And what it is when you've got another thought that joins it that's like it, another thought then will ensue after that second 17 seconds, and then until you reach 68 seconds. And so what happens is, not that it manifests like that, the universe starts to gather all cooperative components to start to bring people, circumstances, situations, events, etc., to start to bring that thing into your reality.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's not like you think of a unicorn for 17 seconds and it's going to drop down into your sitting room.
Of course. Okay, this begins to make sense then. So then those initial, if you want to say 67 seconds, or those initial thoughts with the emotion behind them, can actually be very, very powerful, because this is the beginning of the springboard, if you like.
Hugely powerful. But you've got to understand, it is pure focused thought, and it's stuff gathering together on the etheric realm, where you can't see it, a little bit like your vortex. You can't see it. It's where you've put all your hopes, your dreams, your desires, your wishes, and that's just waiting for you to get up to speed with it, so that you're not on the lack end of the stick, but you're on, the believing end, the active faith, and the understanding that it is yours and it can be yours. The law of attraction is very much based around really believing. The law of attraction exists for everybody, no matter whether they believe in it or not. But for you to get it to work in your favor, and for you to manifest the things that you want into your life, a huge part of it is believing that the universe will deliver.
Can I just pull you up about that, what you mentioned about the vortex?
Yeah.
Your vortex. Can you explain a little bit more about that? Like, what do you mean? Is that all my thoughts and all my energy gathering?
I believe it's two things. I believe the vortex is where you've experienced contrast in your life. Contrast is neither good nor bad. It's both the good and the bad. It's the roller coaster ride that we all go through. And so when you see something or you experience something that you don't want, you put what you do want into this sort of little bubble up here on the etheric realm. Your desire of what you do want sits inside what Abraham Hicks would call the vortex. Okay?
Yeah.
So all the good stuff that you want sits here waiting for you to understand that it can be yours, to get up to speed with it, to not be on the lack end, and to believe that it can be yours. So I want a Ferrari, up it goes. Now, that might not manifest into your reality, because you might be thinking, I'm never going to get a Ferrari. I don't have the money to have a Ferrari. Not you, but anyone, for example. And they're going, I can't afford that. I'll never get that. And so they don't get what's in their vortex.
Yeah, right.
I also believe being in the vortex is being in that state of alignment, being in perfect harmony with your inner being, your soul, your source, your higher self, or God, or whatever anyone wants to call it. It doesn't matter. It's all the same thing. And I believe when you're in perfect alignment, through meditation, through affirmations, through positive thinking, through the people that you hang around with, so many different things to help you to get into alignment, raising your vibration every day. That is when you start to be inside the vortex where all that good stuff is and can manifest easier for you. So I believe the vortex is two things. That's my interpretation.
Yeah. And so then if your thoughts are stuck in on the negative things, it's interesting because I remember you said that the law of attraction works whether you like it or not, or whether you think positive or negative, it's working.
Or whether you believe it or not. It's like the law of gravity.
Whether you believe it or not. Yeah. So because you hear many people say it over and over again, oh, I've tried that stuff. I've been trying. I've thought positive. I've done this. I've done that. It's still not working. I give up. I don't believe in that. What would you say to that, Allie? What would you say to that?
I would say that they think that they're thinking positive, and I would say that they think that they're thinking, all kinds of things like, there's lots of different things that people can say, like that would be the wrong way to say things, like, I don't want to be broke, for example. And language is a huge thing. And therefore, the universe, it's an all inclusion-based universe. The universe doesn't actually hear the words don't, not, and no. The universe doesn't hear. So when you say, I don't want to be broke, what does that translate into for the universe?
Broke.
I want to be broke.
Yeah.
I don't want the traffic lights to be red. There's so many different things.
I've got to laugh. It's so true, because every time you're coming up to a light thinking, don't change red, don't change red. What's it do? It changes red. It happens so often.
I mean, it's crazy really when you think about it, because, most people have not really, and it's a shame, our generation, say, for example, have not really been brought up with this stuff. We've been brought up with religion and things like that. And we haven't really been brought up with this stuff. Most of us have probably stumbled into it in our 30s or our 40s. And, it's such a shame, because there's so much to it, that is for the good of everybody. Like, everybody is creating their own reality in every second of every moment. And it's about trying to understand that.
Yeah. I'd just like to share something here, Allie, if I may. And I can remember going on a school excursion many, many years ago. I could have been I was really young, like 8 or 9. I still remember where it took place and everything. I was on the bus, and a teacher, I said, oh, I would like something like that. And I remember teacher said to me, you can have anything you want. She said, have you heard of affirmations? Now we're talking this was 40 years ago. So that teacher would have been way out thinking, And I said, no. And she said, you just repeat it over and over again and you can get it. And so I remember that as a child. And I'm like, so whatever it was, I want a car. That didn't work. She said, no, it takes a bit of time. And then, of course, I dropped it and never heard of it again for years. But it was such a powerful, it's almost like she planted a seed for me.
Yeah.
Way back then, back. Yeah.
Amazing. You see, the thing is, a lot of people give up, but you've got to understand that there's also that thing called divine timing. And, that's why universe doesn't show up pooping in your sitting room, as I always say, when you want it to. I want a unicorn. And it shows up. Because the time has to be right. The situation has to be right. And also, you have to be ready. Your ego might think you're ready, but the universe also knows when you're ready. So sometimes it can take a little bit longer. But, if your belief wavers in any little way, if you use language that's wrong, even within your thoughts, if you suddenly get emotional because the money or the car isn't there, going, oh, damn, this crap, it doesn't work. And then go back and say, but I know I'm going to get the car. But you're doing both. You're contradicting. Then it won't work.
And I might just say here to the people that are chatting, what we'll do is we might even have, a bit later on, we'll have a question and answer time. So I'm just not getting a chance to read them. So
yeah, I can't see any of the comments. So you'll have to guide me on that.
Yeah. So keep that in mind, guys. If you want to leave questions, we'll do our best to get back to you at a certain point in time. So I think the word comes to my mind, Allie, and being patience with the law of attraction too. You know, that is, do you say that? Is that what you would say? Or is...
I think we do need to cultivate patience, but I think that we also need to expect and believe that these things can be ours, because we are powerful creators. And Abraham Hicks would say expectation is a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. Like, you wake up in the morning expecting your day to go crappy. What's going to happen? You wake up expecting it to be a great day. More often than not, it is. And so I think that expecting things to go well, expecting to get the things that you want because you are a powerful creator, is more powerful than that. Yes, I agree with you. Patience is an important thing. I don't have too much patience myself.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of made it.
Okay, yeah, I kind of get this here, that patience on the one hand, but then with having that patience, you can't also think, oh, it's not going to come now. It's not going to come now. Maybe it'll come a bit later, because then that puts it all back anyway.
Snowballs it. Yeah, it's a little bit like, say, if you ask the universe for a job, or you ask the universe for a lover, and you were sitting there, say, and you had all the faith in the world at the start, and then you were sort of sitting there a month in going, oh, where's my lover? When's it going to come? When's this going to come? When's the car going to come? When's the money going to come? That kind of puts the brake on the law of attraction, because again, you're focused upon the lack. And it's, you know what, it's such a natural human instinct for us to say things like that, because that's just the way our brains work. But when we're focused on the lack, we're just going to keep getting more lack. Yeah.
And so what about gratitude then? Where does, I mean, because I know that with gratitude, and I've heard this many times, and I've proven this in my own life, that when we truly are, we come from a place of love and gratitude, more of that comes into play, more of that. And is that the law of attraction as well, working?
Absolutely, yeah. Gratitudes are hugely important. That's why I've done 1 or 2 boot camps on it on my YouTube channel. They're up there. But gratitude to the universe, even for everything that you have, for everything that you are also going to receive that you haven't yet already received. The universe loves that. The universe is listening to everything. Like, it's unreal how powerful it is. And it's so important to be grateful for stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, and even if not for the law of attraction, just the gratitude in itself just fills our heart, that alone is worth everything.
Absolutely.
And so with gratitude, of course, leading into gratitude comes affirmations. Now, you know, and I know you've posted affirmations. I've posted affirmations, but I've heard some, even science, people that study affirmations saying, no, it's been proven now that affirmations don't work because of the subconscious programming previously that we've had. However, I tend to have different feelings on that myself, because I know emotion comes into play when using affirmations. Emotions are strong. And I know even Dr. Joe Dispenza, he uses affirmations in his meditation, and I find them empowering. Do affirmations, is that in alignment with the law of attraction?
Yes, absolutely, because your subconscious needs to be reprogrammed to get you the things that you want, including wealth, relationships, love, whatever you've got so many programs in your subconscious mind that a lot of them people aren't aware of. There's so many things, like, for example, with money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are evil. Like, this is all such a load of hogwash. And I really strongly disagree with whatever scientists said that it wasn't scientifically proven, because it's like meditation. Meditation has so many health benefits. And, there's a list the length of your arm to do with meditation. And and pretty much very similar for affirmations. And I think that, I know I've seen results from my clients who've even just done my I am meditation for 30 days and the improvement that it's made in their lives. So I absolutely, totally 100% disagree that whether it's scientifically proven or not,
I think what this study was saying, and maybe they missed the emotion part, but what the study was saying was that when people don't believe something in their mind, that if they just repeat the affirmation, I am feeling well, I am feeling well, I am feeling well, then I think without the emotion, it's not going to work, is it?
Yes, you do have to put the emotion behind it. Sorry, I misunderstood what you said. And that leads me to another thing that Abraham Hicks said is there's no point reading affirmation cards or reading affirmations if you're outside of the vortex. So before you do your affirmations, it's really important that you are in alignment with your inner being after doing a meditation and doing all those things to raise your vibration, gratitude and appreciation and all those types of things. Then you go into your affirmations. You shouldn't do them like she has such a funny video on it. She's reading her cards going, money flows to me easily. These cards suck. And she's hilarious. She said, you have to get inside the vortex.
Sure.
Before you start affirming. But every single word as well that comes out of your mouth is an affirmation.
So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So of course, when we say, we drop something and say, I'm hopeless. I mean, we continue to say that. I mean, that's the subconscious programming as well.
So I'm ugly. I'm so stupid. I'm clumsy. Oh, I'm crap at that.
Yeah. So if we don't pick up on those and change them in that moment, or just become aware of that, and I guess this
become aware of them is the main thing, for sure.
I think meditation comes into play there, correct? Because meditation is about the awareness. So when we're aware, we begin to be more aware of what our internal dialogue is.
Yeah, for sure. Meditation is so important. It's one of the biggest things when I teach people about the law of attraction, because that's how you get in touch with your inner being. And when you start to quiet your mind, even if you're listening to a guided meditation, it doesn't matter, because your mind, you can get it to a quieted place. I know that we say your thoughts will come and go, but it's also really important to actually get to that space of quieting your mind so that you start to receive inspired action from your inner being. And those inspired actions will take you down the path that you wish to go.
Inspired action, hey?
Yeah. I mean, nothing gets done without action. So you're best off waiting for inspired action.
Allie, can we, before we go into questions and that, I'm just mindful of the time. What I'd like to ask you is, I know that you're currently busy with planning a retreat in Ireland, a workshop in Vegas, and another workshop online. Would you like to just talk to people about what you're doing, so then people can sign up, and we'll end up adding the link later when I can.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, my website is www.expansivesouls.com. And the first thing that I'm doing next is a wealth coaching mastery program. I'm a qualified wealth coach, and I will be smashing through limiting beliefs with people and taking them on a journey of wealth, abundance, prosperity, and all of that good stuff. It's starting on the 2nd of March. It'll be live at 9 p.m. GMT every Saturday for approximately an hour to an hour and a half on a live Zoom call with me in a group setting. Nice. The doors close for that the 28th of February, so they can sign up for that on my website. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I'm opening a Soul Expansion Academy, which is going to be an online academy where I will be releasing programs inside of there that people can access. And attached to this, there will be a soul tribe where people can bounce ideas off each other and be connected and answer each other's questions and help each other on their journeys. And I will also be doing a live call once a month inside of that group attached to the academy. And I'll be releasing more and more programs inside of that academy. And that's launching on the 10th of March. That's that one. And then I am doing a retreat here in Ireland with the beautiful Vivian Carden, who we both worked with in the Consciousness Creators. She's an Irish spiritual medium. She helps people connect with their loved ones on the other side. And she does really important work. She's also an angel channeler. And I'm hosting a retreat here in Ireland with her in Carlingford, in a beautiful place called Tranquility Lodge in Carlingford. And
I must say, I've seen the photos of that retreat center, and that retreat center looks amazing.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. So it was booked out within 6 weeks, but a couple of people canceled because one had a double booking and the other one had some, they couldn't get off work. So there is one space left inside of the house, but we're even hosting people in a hotel nearby because we had overflow. So there are a couple of spaces also in the hotel. So if anybody
wonderful. And the Vegas?
In Vegas, I am doing with obviously the wonderful Tony Doyle, who is a mindset coach and also is a coach for Mind Valley and so many other things. Too much to get into. Has worked with the great late Wayne Dyer, whose affirmation you just read. And myself and Tony are going to do an interactive workshop with a hot seat in Vegas.
Oh, that would be so good. Oh,
yeah. So that is in July.
Oh, I wish you all the success with that. I'm so looking forward to hearing about that, how that goes, and for the lucky people there that can be there, you know, good for you.
I'll be calling you from Vegas. Don't worry.
Oh, wow! I look forward to that. I mean, I'd just like to go. I'm going to go to the questions, Allie, and just see if anyone's got questions. You can type them in now, and I'll get to read some of them out for Allie. Okay, what do we got here? So. Let me just see.
Don't ask me anything too hard, guys.
Sally Naiman says, I've done Allie's I Am meditation for 6 weeks every day, and I know I feel so much better about myself. My self-belief has soared recently. So good to
hear that. Beautiful, Sally. Thank you.
Everyone agrees that meditation is key. Okay, and Tanya says, you know, I disagree myself, guys, as I've been using Jason's letting go meditation for 11 days now, and I've felt change from day one. So scientists are not always right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks, Tanya. I mean, I guess there's different points of view all the time. So,
I mean, I think, you know, that you and I have heard so many good things from people around the world with the stuff that we've released to do with meditations and affirmations, that it kind of speaks for itself, really, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah. And let's face it, even if those affirmations just work and make you feel good at that time, right? Just for even those moments, isn't that then you're beginning to raise your vibration anyway?
You're changing your mindset as well, and you're raising your vibration. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. We've got Anne Gretz says this one, how to get into the vortex.
How to get into the vortex is to basically to raise your vibration, to do all those things that we were talking about, do the things that you love, to meditate, to go out into nature, to have an Epsom salts bath, or as Jason Stephenson likes to have Christmas lights around his bath. To walk your dog, to pet your animals, to be with loved ones, to listen to music, dance, do yoga, to cook, whatever raises your vibration. Anything that makes you happy, essentially, is going to raise your vibration. There are the common ones, such as meditation, lighting incense, burning sage, out into nature, going for walks, being with loved ones. But really, in essence, it's doing all the things that you love that make you happy. That will get you into the vortex, and the more that you do those things is the more that you will stay there. You know, because if you start to have negative thinking and all those kinds of things, that's when you're dropping down your vibration, you're going down the emotional scale. So to stay higher up, you know, in the love and past, love is at 500, love and appreciation are the same sort of number on the emotional scale, which I believe is 500. You know, to stay up there, you've got to keep doing these things on a daily basis, practicing them. and ensuring that you make time for you. You know what? I really believe that self-love is also at the core of everything that the law of attraction stands for. Because without self-love, you've got nothing. And I also have a workshop on that.
Boom.
Seriously though, I really believe it, because I took myself out of depression and suicidal thought for 25 years using the law of attraction. And I would say where I started was practicing self-love. I've never really spoken about that before, but I was thinking about it today. And I think practicing self-love and taking time out for your mind, your body, and your spirit is really key elements to helping you to live a healthy, vibrant, successful life.
And I think what you were speaking about there leads on to this other question from Livy. And this is a really good point that I was going to bring up. Hi, Livy. And she says, how do you respond to great adversity in your life, such as life changes with law of attraction and painful events?
I know that, Livy, and I get it. It's very hard. I mean, I'm not superhuman either, as I've told everyone when I had back issues there recently. Thank goodness they're much better now. But I mean, I'm not, just because I'm a law of attraction practitioner doesn't mean that I don't experience these things either. And I think they can be difficult and they can be challenging, but what they are is part of the contrast. And so the contrast, as I said earlier, is not the good or the bad. It's the both. It's the up and the down. That's our life. It's like a roller coaster. We experience good, we experience bad, we experience good, we experience bad. And sometimes it's worse than other times. And so what you have to remember is that you're never going to stay in that difficult position forever.
Yeah.
That things will change. You're not going to stay stuck. And while it might seem like it at the time, it might seem very difficult, you have to understand, while you're in a position of having things that you don't want, you're then releasing things that you do want up into your vortex, and you're becoming clearer about them. And so you are having clarity about the things that you do want, and they're waiting for you.
Oh, wow.
So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's great. So it's like when those adverse times happen, it's not necessarily fighting against them, Allie, isn't it? It's not fighting against them. It's just, I guess it's a knowing that this is just a part of the life journey, the ups and downs.
Part of it. Yeah. Abraham says that we should embrace the contrast. So it's like you can't experience the light unless you've experienced the dark. You know, and I know it sounds awful and it sounds really cliche when you're going through a really crappy time. Believe you me, I've been going through some contrast myself at the moment, as you know, Jason. We won't get into it, but you know, it can be extremely, extremely difficult. But you've got to keep moving. You've got to keep going, and you've got to keep taking baby steps to get to where you want to go. We all go through it, and you know, just know that it will be okay, and that it's not going to be like that forever.
Okay, another great question here is from Katie Sylvester. And
Hi,
what
Katie.
is the best way to share abundance when I have no job? I find myself borrowing and I need to give back. And I mean, I can...
You can make things for other people, and you can give up and volunteer your time. That's probably one of the best things that you can do, is volunteering your time, whether it be, you know, offering to do shopping for a neighbor, checking in on somebody elderly, helping out at a shelter, something like that. If you've got no money, that's probably would be my best idea of what to do. I don't know if you can add to that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the idea of sharing that abundance, and you know, okay, putting the money aside. This can be done in like really small ways, such as, you know, you can even just the holding a door open, or even saying hello to someone while you're walking.
Random acts of kindness.
Yeah. I mean, that's sharing abundance, and that is putting it out there into the world, and love, you know, if it comes from a place,
putting out her love. Yeah.
You know, that's one way, and that will be returned.
Absolutely. Yeah. Random acts of kindness. I'm a big advocate for that. So I do believe that is fantastic. And I believe that what we put out, it will be returned.
Okay, I'm just checking to see here. Wow. Hopefully that's explaining things. I'll just see if... Okay. I think obviously Tanya asked something about books. Maybe what books do we recommend?
I've got a ton of books that I'd
looking
recommend.
for more info on mindfulness meditation history. Any suggestions? There's quite
That's more of a question for you.
Yeah, there's quite a few books. The best book for mindfulness meditation, if you just look up John Kabat-Zinn, he's the master of mindfulness meditation, and he has so many books. Yes, he has a lot of books. So any one of his books I would highly recommend, Tanya. I hope that can help. John, I'll even type in his name here just so you're aware there. Yeah. And I think we can begin to wrap it up, Mrs. Allie O'Shea.
Okie dokie. Mr. Jason Stephenson.
It has been an absolute delight, and thank you so much, because it's actually clarified so much more for me, and I'm sure that other people have. And could I just? There's one more question that's come in that I think might be important. Okay, so sure. Before we halfway through saying goodbye, are we forgiven when we have moments in life when we can't give as much as we would like to? Example, an illness. So are we forgiven? And this is by Hannah Waters.
Forgiven by who?
When we have moments in life when we can't give as much as we would like to. I am pretty sure that we would be forgiven. I'm pretty sure that the God or universe holds no power of that over us.
You know what? I think, the universe and God, or whatever you want to call it, is all loving and not what we may have perceived growing up as children as, this judgeful, horrible thing that's going to banish us to hell forever. I don't believe in that at all. I believe that it is absolutely just pure love, and I don't believe any of that stuff. And I think, if you're, loving towards everyone else, of course.
Yeah. And could I rephrase that? I think that question could be better said, Hannah. Do you forgive yourself if it's you involved? Because that's the most important thing in this sort of instance. It's about you not being judgmental on yourself, because goodness knows we do a lot of that. We do so much of that. So
beating yourself up is so bad. And if you can't forgive yourself, you really need to, because when you don't forgive yourself, you start to hold on to those emotions inside of your body, and they create illness. I can tell you that as a healer, they manifest in your physical body. I had a back issue recently, and I know exactly what caused it and what emotions caused it that I had suppressed, but it was kind of out of my control. But you know what? You can start to heal yourself. You can start to heal yourself with lots of, balance out your chakras and your energy centers, and really focus on self-love and looking after yourself. But make sure you forgive yourself.
Perfect words to finish on, Allie. Thank you so much, everyone. And thank you again, Allie. And if you want to check out Allie's workshops and retreats, go to www.expansivesouls.com, and you can find all the bookings there. And, I think the Vegas one is going to be amazing. And I think the island one is going to be amazing, and not to mention our online workshops. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. And thank you so much again, Allie. It's been a delight.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I've loved spending time with you as always. And thank you to everybody watching and everybody on the replay too.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And until next week, we'll say goodbye to now, and we send you love. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.